Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to day three of the Ontario Education Right for today is Sunday, November 6th, 2022. It's 7:07 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We just heard the clock back earlier today. So let's see what's going on in the news since the last live stream. Today is November 5th. Show you guys. I'll show you the news that came out in the last 24 hours. Actually, now for the last 24 hours. Alright. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will catch you guys later with a little recap of what's been happening. So here we go.
Hundreds of people blocked traffic around
Yep,
Square
this
this
is the
afternoon to
news
express
that
their
came out in
solidarity with
the
striking
last day.
education workers. Good evening. The rally comes as the Ontario Labour Relations Board holds a hearing to determine whether the walkout by education workers is legal.
The province has passed back to work legislation. However, union members say they are participating in a political protest over the nature of the law. CTV's Mike Walker has been following the dispute and joins us live with more. Mike.
Well, Raheem, education workers and their union argue that the government's legislation is a violation of their charter rights and are demanding that negotiations resume. At the same time today, the province was making submissions to the Labour Relations Board to have the walkout deemed illegal.
A show of solidarity. Different unions rallying together with education workers who are in the middle of a bitter labor dispute with the province.
You cannot destroy people's charter rights and not expect that we're not going to forcefully and militantly stand for our rights and for the rights of all workers.
Yeah.
For an hour this afternoon, protesters took over the intersection at Yonge and Dundas. This rally, one of 11 organized by the Ontario Federation of Labour, after the province invoked the notwithstanding clause, imposed a contract on education workers, and banned their right to strike.
I think the government is setting a precedent by giving up on negotiations with CUPE members.
The EAs are the backbone of what we do. I can't function in my classroom without EA support.
Holly Rodrigue is a custodian among the 55,000 education support staff who walked off the job.
Sunday, November 6th. Today is Sunday, November 6th. We've been streaming practically for a week. We've been doing this for a whole week.
We've worked for way too long without a decent wage. We're workers that make $49,000 a year. The ECs make $39,000 a year. They have to work second and third jobs.
As protesters took to the streets, hearings continued at the Labour Relations Board, which ruled today the education minister doesn't have to testify due to parliamentary privilege.
Whether it be the Minister of Education or the Premier who made this decision should have to account for their decision.
The province is arguing CUPE is engaging in an unlawful strike, while the union insists it's a political protest. The opposition calling on the Ford government to repeal the bill.
We would go in tonight to get this bill thrown out and support a fair agreement.
The job action closed a number of schools on Friday. CUPE says the protest will continue indefinitely until the province returns to the bargaining table.
Are we going to accept a government that just strips away the charter?
Several school boards across the GTA, including the public and Catholic boards in Toronto, are planning for online learning to start next week.
Disappointed because online learning isn't quite the same, and
kids need to be social and do everything in school.
A stressful time for families with no end to the job action in sight.
Being in school is so vital and important. I blame the government for this this failure to negotiate. I think that whatever pay raise they're
we're going to be
asking
doing
for
this non-stop daily
reasonable
coverage will
because
continue
we're all
every
suffering right
day.
now.
The education minister
No
has
strike.
stated the government had no choice but to proceed with the legislation and will use every tool available to have students return to the classroom.
Well, they,
Now, the
are they
Labor
even
Relations Board has
mandating the
yet to decide
possibility
whether
of
the
even
walkout
declaring
is in
education
fact
essential
illegal. In fact,
service?
the hearing is still continuing at this hour. Now, CUPE says that the protests will only continue to ramp up. They're anticipating a return to Queen's Park on Monday. Reporting live on Mike Walker. Andrea, back to you.
Thank you, Mike. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau outlined his opposition to the province's use of the notwithstanding clause during an event in North York yesterday.
Yeah.
It is a very, very serious thing to suspend people's fundamental rights and freedoms. The proactive use of the notwithstanding clause is actually an attack on people's fundamental rights. And in this case, is an attack on one of the most basic rights available, that of collective bargaining.
When asked whether Ottawa will move to amend the use of the notwithstanding clause, Trudeau stated his government was weighing all different options.
Meanwhile, a potential strike could impact GO Bus service starting on Monday.
Thousands.
From the classroom to the picket lines, the education workers' strike continues with no end in sight. Hundreds of people gathered downtown in solidarity with their cause. Good evening. They are custodians, education assistants, librarians, and more. 55,000 workers walked off the job Friday in a move the provincial government declared as illegal. They say they will be rallying until their needs are met. CTV's Andrew Brennan has been following the dispute and joins us live with more. Andrew.
Well, Raheem, this impasse between the government and education workers and the heel digging that seems to be taking place on both sides in the last few days has taken place everywhere except the bargaining table. We've seen demonstrations in the streets, opposition and harsh words at the legislature at Queen's Park as Bill 28 was passed. And now the latest stage is Ontario Labour Board hearing and a marathon hearing session today. Caught in the middle, though, are parents frustrated and still wondering when they'll be sending their children back to school.
I have a feeling I don't think it
Dissent has been loud and is growing, even as the government of Ontario looks to the Labour Board to declare the CUPE walkout illegal.
Anger. I think a lot of parents are feeling a lot of anger right now, and I think that surprisingly to the government, we're siding with the CUPE workers.
And like mother, like Donna.
I'm definitely disappointed that I don't get to go to school and stuff, but I completely understand what we're doing, and I stand with it.
But for many parents, the thought of another continued learning disruption isn't a pleasant one.
It's tough, right? I mean, for me, the biggest challenge is I don't want her education to be interrupted.
I'm a worker too. I'm a parent. I don't want them to be disrupted. I also do want the CUPE workers to have a fair agreement.
For another day, unions and allies took to the streets incensed over the province invoking the notwithstanding clause, imposing a contract on education workers and banning their right to strike.
I think the government is setting a precedent by giving up on negotiations with CUPE members.
The EAs are the backbone of what we do. I can't function in my classroom without EA support.
Meantime, lawyers for Ontario and the union were before the Labour Relations Board, which heard arguments well into the night. The government hoping it will declare CUPE's actions illegal, while the union remains steadfast the protesting will continue no matter the cost. And those arguments before the Labor Board are still ongoing as of now, almost hitting hour 14 of this second day of hearings. Both sides telling the chair at the board hearing today that they must side with them. If not, the labor laws will essentially be diluted in Ontario if the chair does decide to go with the other side. Both sides, though, saying this for pleading their case. Now, as for those costs, it's important to mention that as of right now, we've heard from CUPE that none of these fines that have been proposed and are in place haven't actually been levied against any workers or the union itself, but they amount to $220 million roughly a day. And those fines, if they are being taken place, it's every single day. It's as of right now, we're hearing more unions giving $1 million, for instance, from the BC Labor for teachers, and more are expected to act. Reporting live, I'm Andrew Brennan. We'll send it back to you, Raheem, inside.
Thanks for that, Andrew. And we'll have more news in a moment. But first, here's a live look. This is Bay Street in the downtown core, 21 degrees and still quite windy. Jessica Smith joins us.
Beautiful. Into a very summer-like day. We saw a daytime high well above seasonal right across southern Ontario into kind of that mid-20 range, feeling even warmer than that. Just about.
Alternative rides come Monday.
I don't want to say that come Monday. We decided we are hearing more. Resume Sunday morning. We are now in day 3 of a strike. And probably at this point, no end in sight. With essentially no end in sight. And literally, this is not a good sign. And a lot of people remember this whole we never are we one step closer to moving forward along the education system. Well, this is the first strike by education workers. It got really bad very quickly. We went from almost 14 to 3 weeks ago. We had no idea that we would be out of Oshawa for quite some time, and nowhere we can go. So we can't go anywhere. So yeah, it's Sunday today, so really not seeing any eventful stuff going on, but it is Sunday today, and today the clocks went back 1 hour. So today I'm gonna actually show you guys sunset sunrises.
Why the clock went back 1 hour, didn't they?
They did. Reset the clock down here. I didn't set the clock upstairs in the bedroom.
Alright, today because of the result of the clock falling back, sunrise 6:59 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and sunset 5:01 p.m. Making this for the first time, at least since mid-January, the sunset has been around 5 o'clock. That's either side, so either we were on daylight saving time or our standard time. This is the very earliest sunsets we've seen in quite a while in Ontario. So, yeah. Well, today is really only Sunday, and nobody's going to be watching. So, it's like early Sunday morning. So, early in the morning, Sunday. We've been on a strike for the last couple of days, so that's why we've been updating this. So we'll continue pushing them out as much as we possibly can. And we'll be pushing out new updates pretty much every day when we move toward the full strike. Once we get far deeper into the strike and see how long it takes before we're back into the hospital. I'm going to hop off now. Hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday, rest of your weekend, and I hope people can hope to see you guys tomorrow for tomorrow's update for Monday. So, all right, bye-bye, everybody. Oh,